Let us give thanks for the beauty of this day and find within and among us that hope that each new academic year brings. Please join me in a spirit of prayer as we reconvene our community of teaching and learning this fall. May blessings fall upon all who care and prepared our new students for this day. May your hearts be full of joy even as you take leave and entrust us with your students. May blessings fall upon this city and the greater Hartford region, that we all might flourish in relationship with one another. May blessings fall on this school's leadership, those who navigate amidst troubled waters in history, that they may direct this institution toward truth, justice, equity, freedom, and peace. May blessings fall upon all members of the staff that we might serve with dignity, integrity, and generosity. May blessings fall upon this faculty who carry with them the heart of our mission and so much hope for our common humanity. May blessings fall this day on the students in the Trinity College class of 2021, whose generation will shape the character of this nation and our world for years to come. May blessings fall on every member of this community that we might inquire humbly, seek understanding, and cultivate hope in our world. And may that peace which passes all understanding guide our hearts and minds in the knowledge and love that brings life abundantly to all. Amen. Please be seated. It's always good to pray with your shades on. Keeps you humble. I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty, Tim Cresswell, to deliver opening remarks.
Good afternoon. As Dean of the Faculty, it is my pleasure to welcome faculty members, members of the administrative staff, upper year students, parents, and above all, the class of 2021, transfer students and IDP students to the President's Convocation 2017. This event marks the official opening of the academic year at college. From this moment forward, we will vigorously engage each other in the challenging, fascinating, and pleasurable process of liberal arts education. Our newest students, as I look out at you today, supported on all sides by your faculty, fellow students, and parents, I congratulate you on the achievements that have brought each of you to this place and offer my best wishes for a successful college career. I now call upon Emily Claytor, President of the Student Government Association and a member of the class of 2018, to bring greetings from the student body.
Hi everyone, welcome. As this year's student body president, it is my honor to formally welcome you to Trinity College. To begin, I wanted to share with you something personal about my own life and my journey at Trinity. I would like to do that by reading a letter I wrote myself when I was trying to write this speech, and here it goes. Dear younger self, you would not have imagined that you would be standing here today addressing the incoming class of 2021. You didn't know that you were going to study abroad in Bordeaux, France, or that you would somehow manage to major in English, international studies, and French. Choose one already. You had no idea you would learn to row crew your freshman year or join a sophomore year. You had no idea that you would have such close and caring friends. You didn't know this freshman year because you were living in fear. To be honest, as hard as it is to believe today, I had doubts my freshman year that Trinity was the school for me. I actually thought about transferring. However, here I am today, confident that Trinity enabled me to grow both personally and academically into the person I wanted to be. Looking back, it wasn't the school that made me feel uneasy or not accepted. It was that I wasn't trusting people and opening up to them. I was, if I think deep and hard about it, having a hard time transitioning to college. This is a huge thing for me to admit. Why? Because I thought that going to college would be no different than going to boarding school. I thought it would be way easier than taking a gap year and living alone in Paris for a year. But in reality, there is nothing that can compare or prepare you for the way you could feel the first few weeks of college. You expect everything to fall into place. Your roommate will become your best friend, and for some that may happen. It's awesome. You expect to make your sports team and play every game. You expect to get A's in your classes because that might have been what you were used to in high school. You may even be unprepared or naive to the after-hour night culture that emerges on every college campus. But to be honest, there are other events on campus besides this scene. Believe me when I say you will surprise yourself. You will take your failures, your hardships, and you will overcome them. You are here to grow and to learn about yourself. Don't try to fit another person's image of what is perfect, cool, or interesting. Be yourself and everything will fall into place. Today is the beginning of a new adventure. You have been hand-selected among thousands of applicants to attend this college, one of the best and highly esteemed colleges on the East Coast. This is your new home. Look around you. You don't know it yet, but you will know every name of these buildings surrounding you in only a few short weeks. The person sitting behind you, next to you, 3 rows from you, will become your best friend. This is where your community begins, and the bond you form with your peers now never ends. It continues long after you've graduated in the form of networks and connections, and hey, maybe even job opportunities. Finally, remember to look beyond the superficial. Try hard, especially the first few weeks, to be where your feet are. Get your head out of your phone. It's really hard to do. Take advantage of the opportunities at Trinity. Say yes to doing things you wouldn't normally say yes to. Step outside your comfort zone. Say yes to going on a hike with the Outdoors Club. Say yes to taking a class learning how to play squash. Say yes to tutoring a struggling kid at the local middle school. You have been chosen because you are among the best and the brightest, the most interesting and the most driven. You are here because we believe in your success. And this college, these professors, these peers surrounding you today will help you achieve your dreams. You are here to learn about yourself, to ignite and discover your passions. Welcome to Trinity College. I now call upon the Secretary of the Faculty, Jennifer Reagan Lefebvre, to bring greetings from the faculty upon this occasion.
On behalf of all of the faculty at Trinity College, welcome. You are here to learn, and we are here to teach you. We take enormous pride and satisfaction in teaching you well. We hope you will take equal pride and satisfaction in your education. Convocation is like a miniature graduation. I stand before you resplendent in my academic gown. The next time you see me wearing this might very well be your own graduation in 4 years' time, we hope. Academic gowns have evolved from functional garments in medieval European universities to ceremonial ones. They are a quirky reminder that we are carriers of centuries of academic curiosity, discipline, and achievement. I remember distinctly what I was wearing on my first day of college years ago, and it was not a Nest t-shirt. It was a white sleeveless top, khaki-colored shorts, and black sandals. The reason I remember this is because when I met my roommate for the first time, she was wearing the exact same thing, down to the brand of shorts. I have to add, this is before Facebook. I did not know what she looked like. We looked at each other and said, "Oh my God, that is so funny." And then my mother took a photo of us with a camera with film. Some students in our dorm teased us for a few weeks. They called us the twins, which was extra funny because she was 6 inches shorter than me. I am 5'4". We thought it was crazy that we could wear the exact same clothes when I had gone to high school in England and she had gone to high school in California. But now I'm a big shot history professor and I teach the history of global trade. I know that this is not crazy at all, because over the second half of the 20th century, there was a global trend towards homogenization in dress. Let me give you some examples of how different academic subjects that you will encounter at Trinity might respond to my story. 2 women, different sides of the world, same clothing. For my part, as a historian of Britain, I would start in the 18th century. If you take my introductory British history class, anyone signed up? 3 spots left. We will start with the Industrial Revolution, when innovations in spinning and weaving led to the creation of massive textile mills in the United Kingdom. This had an immediate effect on millions of people across 4 continents. For example, it severely disrupted the weaving industry in northern India, while encouraging the growth of cotton plantations and African slavery in the American South. Cheap cloth was then sold back in India, which was becoming a British colony. That's why when Mohandas Gandhi began his resistance campaigns in the early 20th century, he made a point of rejecting British dress, which had become common across the British Empire, and instead wore homespun cloth. He made the image of the spinning wheel the symbol of his movement. It was a statement of independence and self-reliance. Clothing is laden with meaning. Of course, if you really want to understand that meaning, you should take a class in cultural anthropology. Because one thing anthropologists explain really well is how symbols operate within cultures, and how cultures resist and adapt to globalization and social change. A sociologist might ask what social forces influence our choice of clothing, might argue that clothing is a means of identifying with a particular group of society, let's call it a nest. On the other hand, I have colleagues in psychology and neuroscience who study perception and decision making. They understand how our brains differentiate and choose. For them, choice means something different. A political scientist might consider what my story tells us about how the international clothing companies operate across borders. Does this mean that the international system is more cooperative than combative? We're in the economist territory if we want to know whether my roommate and I paid the same amount across different currencies for the same pair of shorts. An environmental scientist might warn us about pollutants used in textile manufacturing. A geographer might point out the disproportionate effects such pollution has on the world's poorest communities. To research these questions effectively, you'll need knowledge of other languages. That's one reason Trinity has a foreign language requirement and a math requirement so you can analyze your data. What if you were interested in the clothing itself? You would need to understand aesthetics, the study of the nature of beauty. So you should take a class in the fine arts, in art history, in literary theory, or in philosophy. If you take a class in women and gender studies, or classics, or religious studies, you might ask yourself, under what circumstances is it acceptable for young women to wear shorts, to bare their legs? My chemistry wished to remind you, for safety reasons, you cannot wear shorts or sandals in the A few of you are thinking, but I came here to study engineering. Well, remember, you will all take classes in the humanities, social sciences, arts, and sciences. That is the brilliance of the liberal arts. But I would also return to my earlier point. To understand the clothing that I wore in the late 1990s, we should start with the Industrial Revolution, a triumph of engineering. Why did the Industrial Revolution start in Britain? Historians disagree. One theory, though, is that Britain's universities had a culture of critical inquiry, an educational culture that encouraged students to ask questions about their world and to seek solutions in problems. And thus, we come full circle. My point is that every academic subject approaches a problem differently and provides its own discipline and structure to ask questions and to find useful answers. You will be exposed to many different ways of thinking across the Trinity curriculum. As a Trinity student, you can do better than to respond to life's mysteries with, "Oh my God, that is so funny." You may be wondering what happened with my roommate. We thought we would be best friends. We had the same shorts. We had a lot of fun together. She was a French major, and she helped me with my French homework. But we were not soulmates. In Hamlet, Laertes tells his son Polonius, "The apparel oft proclaims the man." But our identical outfits were really just proclaiming that we shopped at the same stores, not that we shared the same interests, values, or ambitions. I learned a lot from my roommate. Fundamentally, I learned never to underestimate a 4'10" French-speaking Californian woman. But more that is a lesson I carry to this day. But more broadly, I learned to look beyond appearances. So I have two requests to make of you today. First, use your education to seek deeper understanding of the world around you. Apply the critical thinking you will learn in all of your Trinity classes to your life, from the mundane objects like your pair of shorts to the deeper questions about your existence. Do it every single day. Start now. Second, be open to people who do not look like you. We all seek out what is comfortable and familiar when we find ourselves in unfamiliar circumstances. But appearances can be deceptive. When we limit ourselves to what is familiar, we overlook what is new, exciting, and exceptional. We professors have a saying, if you are too comfortable, you are probably not learning. And learning is so deeply satisfying. On behalf of all the faculty, welcome to Trinity. I would now like to invite Malika Khanna, a member of the class of 2018, to tell you about some of the traditions that unite our campus in the spirit of friendship, respect, and hard work.
Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome the class of 2021 to Trinity. During the college's 194-year history, we have acquired many traditions that bind us together as a community. The one that our alumni are proudest of is their lifetime loyalty to their alma mater. The Fuller Arch, located directly behind you, is named for Henry Fuller, the class of 1938, whose $39 million bequest is the largest in the college's history. And while Fuller's gift was extraordinary, it is typical of Trinity alumni from all walks of life that they give back to the college to repay what they see as a debt of incalculable worth. The unwavering support has helped Trinity be among the top liberal arts colleges in the country. A tradition that the class of 2021 just learned about as they were walking through the Fuller Arch concerns the inscription on the pavement in front of the arch. Since its placement in 1929, to commemorate a visit by President Theodore Roosevelt, students have avoided stepping on it because urban legend says that anyone who does so will fail to graduate. Another Trinity tradition is the lemon squeezer. Later in the ceremony, you will have the opportunity to see this tradition in action as Emily uses it to prepare a toast to you, the class of 2021. I hope that you will enjoy these and other Trinity traditions and that your years at Trinity will extend into a lifelong relationship between you and this wonderful place. I now call upon Angel Perez, Vice President for Enrollment and Student Success, to present the class of 2021.
Good afternoon, class of 2021 and your families. Today is my favorite day of the year. It's full of excitement and new beginnings, and we get to celebrate with you after what we know has been a tough and emotional college application process. I know how hard all of you have worked to get to this moment today, not just the students, but also the parents. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. You have officially survived the college admissions process. It's over, folks. You're here. You made it. Just think, you will never again have to log on to the application. For those of you that went to high schools with Naviance, you will never see another college scattergram in your life. No more checking the College Board's website for test scores either. And parents, you will no longer have to nag your children about whether they finish writing those college essays. The hard work was worth it because guess what? You have arrived exactly where you were meant to be. I'd like to officially welcome you to your new extraordinary extended family, Trinity College. And you should be really proud of the fact that you made it here today. This is one of the most extraordinary classes in the history of Trinity College. Today, we have 586 first-year students, 18 transfer students, 8 IDP students, our adult degree program, and 5 exchange students coming to us from France and Hungary. You were literally handpicked during one of the college's most selective years in our history. Here's the way I want you to think about it. 67% of the people that applied to be in your chair today were turned away. But instead, we chose you. We have a really rigorous and detail-oriented admissions process. We focus not just on your academic and co-curricular success, but also on your personal character. By the time we actually send you an admissions letter, we've probably read your file 2, 3, 4 times and discussed your applications sometimes up to 5 or 6 times. So please do not take this honor lightly. You have a duty and a responsibility to live up to the extraordinary potential that Trinity College saw in you. I know that you're going to do amazing things in the classroom, on the fields, in your social groups, and of course, in the city of Hartford. Today, You're coming to us from all over the country and all over the world. And there's so many things you should be proud of because class of 2021, you're actually a record-breaking class. Your class has the greatest amount of geographic diversity in the history of this institution. The majority of you are outside of New England, with students coming from as far as California, Hawaii, Iowa, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Florida, Georgia, DC, Alabama, Utah, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and so much more. And even though we have students coming from all over the country, you should also know that we love our backyard. This class also has the highest number of students from the city of Hartford. Here's a little piece of advice. You should probably get to know them and become their best friends because they know the best hotspots in the city. So get to know those Hartford students really well. You should also know that the world has come to Hartford today because sitting here is the largest number of international students in a first-year class ever at Trinity College. Because of you, class of 2021. Yeah, let's give it up for our international students. And because of the class of 2021, we now have 70 different countries represented at Trinity. You come from as far as Rwanda, India, China, Burundi, Trinidad, Barbados, South Korea, Canada, Syria, Tanzania, Japan, Germany, the UK, it goes on and on. I should also mention that our domestic diversity is also historic. You are part of the class with the highest number of students of color and the highest number of students that are first in their family to go to college. Congratulations. Of course, I also don't want to forget to mention that for the second year in a row, Trinity's incoming class has more women than men in their freshman class. All right. Now, this is actually pretty significant because in the year 2019, Trinity is going to be celebrating the 50th year anniversary of women being admitted to the college. So I really think that the leaders who made these decisions almost 50 years ago would be really proud of the class of 2021. And academically, you're also kind of rock stars. There are double the number of students in the class of 2021 at the top of our academic rating scale at Trinity. So most impressive are not the statistics, but actually the kind of stuff that you guys have done. Those are the things that truly inspire the Admissions and Financial Aid Committee of the college. Sitting in the audience today, we have the founder of Jordan's Model Parliament. We have a scuba diver who worked to prevent coral reefs from being contaminated by algae. We have the founder of a robotics competition that now competes internationally. One of you was a semifinalist on America's Got Talent. One of you was recognized by the Korean Embassy for your work in advancing Korean culture in California. One of you was a member of Great Britain's national ice hockey team. One of you founded an orphanage in Ethiopia, and one of our students from Iowa is already a certified EMT. One of you is actually a circus performer and apparently really good on aerial and trapeze. One of you has a significant talent on the drums and has already played for President Jimmy Carter and the President of Burundi. One of you is the co-founder and anchor of your school's virtual broadcasting network, and one of you reads more than 100 books a year and is the editor-in-chief of a political magazine. And the stories go on and on and on, and that is why you simply inspired us. You're an extraordinary group, and we're really proud to have you at Trinity. In your applications, you told us that you wanted to use your education to change the world, and we can't wait to see how you spend the next 4 years learning how to do just that. So it is now my honor to present this extraordinary class of 2021 to Dr. Joanne Berger-Sweeney, the 22nd president of Trinity College.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay. I'm going to ask, thank you, Angel, those were wonderful words about the class of 2021. I'm going to ask if you would all stand up, please. Just shake out the cobwebs a little bit and sit back down. So you can get ready for my 30-minute speech. Only kidding, folks, only kidding. You'll see I have a sense of humor. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to all. To the returning members of the Trinity community who join us in celebrating the start of the academic year, and to those who have just arrived, the class of 2021, transfer students, individualized degree program students, new faculty and staff, parents, family members, and friends. If you are a part of one of those groups, please give yourselves a hand. That wasn't exactly the kind of enthusiasm I was expecting. Can we try that again? Okay. Excellent. We are delighted to have you with us and excited to begin the new academic year together. As we celebrate here, we have at the fronts of our minds and our hearts all of those who are suffering in Texas and Louisiana from the devastation that Harvey has wreaked. It's difficult to fathom the enormity of that crisis and the acute changes our counterparts at other colleges and universities are dealing with. Our thoughts are with them today, and our hopes are for clear skies and quickly receding floodwaters, along with the continued support of an entire nation to help that region recover. Meanwhile, here on this beautiful day in Hartford, there's something truly special about the arrival of new students, the anticipation of the opportunities that await you on your Trinity journeys, and the faith that you will transform this place for the better as you transform yourselves. Every year on this day, I'm newly inspired, and this year is no exception, particularly after that introduction that Angel gave. Your energy, your enthusiasm, and your promise keeps me focused on the future. I hope that you all feel inspired too. And do you know why? Because we have a lot of work to do together. What is that work? It's embracing differences, engaging across divides, listening with empathy, and most importantly, seeing each other's humanity. That's the hard work of evolving as a just community. And that is the charge I impart to each and every one of you on this momentous day. When I was a little girl growing up in Los Angeles, and now I didn't show up in khakis, and so she was talking about a different 4'10" person from Los Angeles, just want you to know. We recited the Pledge of Allegiance in school every day. I probably uttered the lines "with liberty and justice for all" thousands of times without thinking very much about it. What does it mean to live in a society and to be a member of a community where all are truly free and truly equal under the law? Is this our reality? Or an impossible ideal? For me, it's a very real and very achievable aspiration. That I'm standing here today as Trinity College's president, and that all of you, legacies and first-generation college students alike, from all over the world and all economic backgrounds, and identifying across a multitude of ethnic, racial, and gender expressions. You represent the excellence of the Trinity student body. Now, in my opinion, that's just plain remarkable progress. Such progress isn't easy. I'm often reminded of Frederick Douglass's famous words, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress." He said, "Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men, and I might add women, who want crops without plowing the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of many waters." This work towards progress, towards the Trinity we want to be, and the example we want to set for the world, will happen in your classrooms, in your residence halls, on the playing fields, in the dining halls, in the city of Hartford, and on your journeys around the world. It demands your persistence and resilience, your inquiry and your intellect. I know that you're up to the challenge. Every year, for the past 50 years, the Higher Education Research Institution at UCLA conducts a survey of incoming first-year college students. It's really a fascinating set of data. And I can tell you that it revealed that the class of 2020, so last year's class, was the most politically polarized in the history of the survey. Only about 42% of the students said they were middle of the road on political issues, with greater than ever percentages of students characterizing themselves as either far left or far right. These reflect the broader divides within our country, and I predict that this year's survey of your classes will be even greater and bring a greater degree of polarization. Now, what does that mean for us here at Trinity? To me, as an educator, it's a call to action and a very inspiring one. It's a reminder why we're here and what we at a small residential liberal arts college in a diverse capital city do best. We can create community and foster understanding across deep divides. And just to be crystal clear, we are not here to change people's politics, but we do aim to open people's minds. Now, speaking of minds, as many of you know, I'm a neuroscientist. So I know something about brains. And I'm also the mother of a 17 and 20-year-old. I have been known to say that teenage and young adult brains sometimes puzzle me a little bit. And I suspect that parents, maybe some staff, maybe faculty members kind of know what I mean. And sometimes, whether it's about my own children or my adopted family of 2,100 Trinity students, I say to myself, what were they thinking? As you come to learn, I love to read. I may not read 100 books a year. I mean, that's really, that's outrageous and awesome. But I do like to read. And this summer, I read a book called The Teenage Brain, a neuroscientist survival Guide to Raising Adolescents and Young Adults. It was on the New York Times bestseller list. Anybody here read it? Okay, so I'll tell you what's in the book. It's by my colleague Frances Jensen, another neuroscientist, and here are a few important takeaways about what and how teens and young adults are thinking. Number one, and I do think most important, the teenage young adult brain is primed for learning. Teens learn complex information faster than at almost any other times in their lives. Memories are easier to make, and they last longer during this period. 2, teens and young adults can learn faster, but, and this is an important but, they are worse than at multitasking than adults. Wait, did you hear that? Okay, so when you have the headphones on, when you're watching TV and trying to study, actually not a great idea. Number 3, the reward centers of the brain are particularly sensitive at this time, and we take advantage of this enormous curiosity and capacity to learn and the inherent reward that comes with intellectual and social stimulation. But the teen, young adult brain is also more sensitive to addiction, whether that's alcohol, drugs, or video games, than the adult brain. Number 4, at the same time, the teen brain isn't networked or wired exactly like the adult brain. It's not just a miniaturized, shrunken adult brain. Organizational skills require brain connectivity and integration of many different parts of the brain. Much of the decision-making and suppression of impulses lies in an area of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, right here in front. And the prefrontal cortex just isn't as highly connected in the young adult years as in adulthood. And what that means is that you can be more impulsive, take bigger risks, and can't always suppress the first thing that comes to mind. A thought is more likely to actually come into action. Hence, when an adult asks, "What were you thinking?" an appropriate answer could be, "Well, I really wasn't thinking of the consequences." Number 5, another thing that you've probably recognized is that emotionally stressful situations may impact young adult brains more than they do adults. This combination of brain development and hormones is making emotional states a little more challenging. So, you parents can think about this as scientific research to help you understand why your teenager or young adult did that crazy, dangerous thing, or you can think about it as fact-based support for the intensity of our efforts to educate young people in this incredibly special time and phase in their lives. Remember that this is a period in which they are primed for learning and capable of understanding the complexities of our world, and in which they are open to change, and probably more so than the adults in the audience. And to you, my students, Trinity College is where all of your brains will find boundless opportunities to grow. Make sure to take intellectual risks, take a new subject, engage with a new idea. Take a risk because it might change your mind. Take a risk because it might change your heart. These are worthwhile risks for the young and the young at heart. We are also here to impart a sense of responsibility as we grow together. I want to tell both students and parents, this is not a consequence-free zone. Your actions here will have consequences because that is how we teach responsibility in a supportive manner. I do want for all of you who are here for the first year at Trinity College, that your first year here, this year, be truly extraordinary. It will be full of learning, of course, as well as challenge, discovery, and a whole lot of fun. Fun is one of those things that we do really well here at Trinity. So once more, I welcome all of our new students and all of the new members of the Trinity community. I'm thrilled you're here, and I can't wait to get to know you better. Now, I ask Dean Cresswell to come forward to officially launch the academic year.
It is now my duty and privilege to declare that the 194th academic year of Trinity College is hereby officially underway. May each of you excel in your studies and be moved and transformed by the ideas and the intellectual passions you're about to encounter. I now invite Emily Claytor back to the podium for the lemonade toast to Trinity and the class of 2021.
The tradition of the lemon squeezer says it should be handed down to the class whose aggregate excellence in scholarship, moral character, and the qualities requisite to popularity are the highest. As we prepare to toast you, the class of 2021, we know that you will be worthy of this tradition and that you may someday come to be the possessors of the coveted lemon squeezer. We ask at this time for audience members to retrieve the bottles of lemonade under their seats to participate in the toast to Trinity in the class of 2021.
Yeah, you can squeeze. Excellent. Okay. No, you can just actually give me a glass, and anybody else who wants to come up for. Do you want to pour yourself glasses? Make sure to have some. Exactly.
You're very good at it.
Ready. All right. Today, we propose a toast to the class of 2021 and to all new students, as well as to the college, not only for its extraordinary past, but also for its equally extraordinary future. May a similar group of scholars be assembled 'neath the elms 194 years from now, eagerly anticipating the year ahead, and may they look back to our words and actions as examples of the best Trinity can be. I don't see enough people drinking. Come on, make sure and open. Take a sip. All right. I'll put that there. Terrific. Congratulations. Following the recessional, please join us for the family barbecue on the Gates Quad, which is through and that way. Just kind of go in that direction. I now ask everyone to please stand for the alma mater, sung by the Trinity College Chapel Singers. Please remain standing until the platform party has made its way up the aisle. Welcome.
Neath the elms of our old Trinity, neath the elms of our dear old Trinity, no more shall we meet our classmates to greet, neath the elms of our old Trinity. Neath the elms of our old Trinity, Trinity. Neath the elms of our dear old Trinity, Trinity. All dom will meet in the moonlight so sweet. Neath the elms of our old Trinity. On the hills of our old Trinity, Trinity. In the halls of our dear old Trinity, Trinity. There is right merry cheer, there are friends true and dear. In the halls of our old Trinity. College days are from care and sorrow free, and oft will we seek in memory, memory, those days that are past, for to joy us neath the elms of our old Trinity. And we'll sing to our old Trinity, to our dear old alma mater Trinity. We're together today and tomorrow away, far away from our old Trinity.